Welcome back to the Nothing Notable podcast. This is going to be a weird one.
I'm making eye contact with you.
No podcast last week because we moved. Jack, Hubert, Daniel, Elmore. We moved to Los Angeles, California to pursue our dreams of making it in the entertainment industry.
Having the world's number one podcast.
Having the world's number one podcast is a dream of ours. Some have said that we already have the number one podcast. And to those fans, I say thank you.
Love you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom.
My mom doesn't listen to this.
But so yeah, that's why we missed last week. Which it was the first time we missed a week this entire year. Which bummed me out just because like my OCD was showing.
Yeah.
But I was it was just too much going on. So we just moved here and give me some impressions just so far. I mean, we haven't done very much.
Oh, well, let me tell you. First thing I noticed when I moved to LA was the traffic.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
You know what? It's hard to have impressions so far because we haven't done much, as you stated. We've been here for a week now. And the first, 4 days, we literally just spent doing errands.
Yeah. It's funny, too, because, since we got here, day one that we got here, we moved here on a Friday, and it was, beautiful out. It was sunny. It was warm. It wasn't too hot, though. It was just a perfect introduction to Los Angeles. And then ever since then, it's been foggy and cloudy.
Yeah.
Because it's December. But so we haven't gone to the beach or anything. We haven't done anything.
We should probably leave our apartment more.
I agree. No, but so lots of fun stuff to come in the future. Right now, we're just hanging out. We're just chilling.
We're in that transition phase right now where we're just trying to settle in and get our dwelling and our, living space in order, which, is a process. I was absolutely exhausted the first few days just because we were constantly doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of because I came with basically all of my furniture for my room. So my room is pretty much set up the same way it was at my old place. Shout out to my parents. But the living room, we brought a couch. The couch didn't fit.
That was a tough one.
That was a tough one. But also brought a kitchen table and some chairs from your grandparents' house. And so other than the kitchen table and the chairs, we had nothing in the living room. So it was just a giant empty living room, and it's echoey and the floors are a little creaky. And so filling that up is going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
It's complete blank canvas and I'm just blanking on what to do. I'm like, couch.
What else?
TV.
TV?
Stand for TV.
Mm-hmm.
Plant.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's
I think this week we'll go out and find some stuff to make it, liven it up a bit. I want to tell a story about my Ikea dresser that I purchased because it's actually, it's very embarrassing to me, the incompetence that I've had building that thing. If you were to go in my room right now, it looks like there's an Ikea dresser in there. But you will also see just pieces of wood on the floor. Give me a second here because this is tough for me. I feel bad about hammering the pieces of it in.
Yeah.
So I haven't done that part of it yet. But then also, somewhere along the way, I think I messed something up on it. On some of these drawers, I think I built them backwards. And because I feel bad about hammering things, I Gorilla Glued part of it. So I can't take it apart and put it together the right way now. So two of the drawers won't slide into the thing because I don't think I can get the railings on them to slide them in. So they're kind of just sitting in there right now on the two shelves in there. And I feel very embarrassed about my incompetence. I'm moving here trying to be an adult and I couldn't put together this Ikea dresser because I was too afraid to hammer in the plastic nails there because it made so much noise.
Yeah, because where we're at, it's a pretty small little apartment complex and it's pretty quiet, which is really nice. Not a lot of traffic on the street, not a lot of foot traffic either. And it seems like, we don't hear much from our neighbors. So we just assume that everyone's pretty quiet here. Mm-hmm. So because we assume that everyone else is quiet, anytime we make a noise, we think we're being super loud.
Yeah.
Moving furniture on the first day, I felt really bad because everything was just banging around. You don't want to make a bad impression when you first move in.
No.
So yeah. But I love that your dresser is just Gorilla Glued together.
So it has the frame of it, right? And that's all put together how it's supposed to be, except for the back piece of it was just like a very thin piece of plywood that I could Gorilla Glue on there because it just needs to be attached there. The drawers are where I've had the issue because those need to be hammered. Like, there's a back part of the drawer that needs to be hammered in for some reason, as opposed to like just the screws that they had on the rest of it. And I was like, oh, I could just glue that piece in and it'll be fine. Was not fine. I like the glue worked, but the problem is that since I put on these panels of it backwards and then glued them on, I can't take them off now. So that's where my problem has come in.
Yeah. Shout out to IKEA furniture.
Yeah.
Shout out to stuff that you build yourself.
I bought my bed frame from there too. No. First I bought the bed frame. We went to some quote unquote discount furniture store where everything was like $3,000, which was very disappointing. But I bought a bed frame there for the regular price of a bed frame. And I got that together all well and good. And I put my mattress on it and I sat on the mattress and it fell through the bed frame because I didn't have a box spring on it. And apparently with a memory foam mattress, you need to have a box spring because it has no it has no structure to it. It's just a piece of foam. So then I had to get a box from IKEA, and putting that together was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
That was easy. And I'm very concerned that the thing I sleep on every night had less pieces and screws to it than something I put my clothes in. That's worrisome to me.
Yeah. So far we've been, assembling furniture. We've been going to the store. Shout out to Vaughn's. And Target. Ross. The dollar store. There we go. We saw Tyler. We got to see him. He biked over because his car is all messed up.
Supposedly.
Allegedly. But he biked over and then just like laid on our couch and looked at his phone.
And I was worried that he was talking very loudly internally because our apartment's so echoey, but I don't think he was. I think that was just my own paranoia.
I was also paranoid about that. But it was good to see Tyler in person again, of course.
We saw my grandparents today because they were down somewhere else in Southern California. So of course they were like, let's get you breakfast.
And I'll tell you what, that's what I like. That's the one thing I like about living in Los Angeles. That's why I moved here. No, it's because like this is the destination spot, quote unquote. Everyone wants to go to Los Angeles for vacation. They want to go to Disneyland. They want to go to the beaches. They want to go wherever, whatever. So because of that, we'll always get to see our friends.
Yeah.
We don't have to go to Wyoming. we don't have to go to like Arkansas to see friends. Like they'll come to us, which is really nice. Yeah. That's a position I like to be in where I don't have to do any work to maintain my friendships. Yeah, so now we're living together. We got Tyler nearby. We've got some other friends here in the LA area. Supposedly. If you listen to this podcast and you live in Los Angeles, let us know because, hey, listen, I'd love to be your friend. I'd love to have some friends here. So real quick, Jack, why did you want to move to Los Angeles?
Well, the real answer is I don't think I did.
Nice.
The longer answer is that let me backpedal here a little bit. Elite backpedaling skill, like I'm Josh Norman.
Double-fisted kidney punch.
If I were to pick my place where I could live, Los Angeles, like if all things were equal, like Los Angeles would probably not be the place because I generally don't like weather that's too warm.
Sure.
I don't, love like cities that feel so big, et cetera. But really moved here for job opportunities because in, the film and television industry, which we want to work in, like this is the place you got to go to do that. You got to go here or you got to go to New York. And at this point in my life, I don't really want to live in New York. Maybe sometime further down the road that will change. But right now, here's the place where for what I want to do in my career, I have to be at.
Yeah, it's the same for me as well. Obviously, career opportunities. Let me voice two things that I've been thinking about though. And this is Honesty Hour.
Brought to you by MeUndies.
So obviously I knew that there was like a scene for film and television, especially independent film and television in San Francisco. So like I could have started working there seriously and like, cut my teeth on that corner. And in some ways I feel guilty
Ooh.
about moving to Los Angeles, because in a romantic way, I would like to be able to say, like, I gave my city everything. Because being born in the Bay Area, being born in a hospital in San Francisco, living near San Francisco for my whole life, like that, I love the Bay Area, and that's where I'd like to return one day.
It's the most beautiful place.
Oh, it's awesome
in the country.
Yeah, totally
Love it.
So, you know, in some ways I do feel like a hack fraud for moving to Los Angeles, but my perspective is this is the best place for me to be at this moment in my life, because one, there is more commercial opportunity and I just need more practice within that sort of space. I'd like to, in terms of like filmmaking and stuff, I don't see myself being like a real commercial Hollywood filmmaker. And I'm not using those terms in like a demeaning way. Like, I'm not saying like, ooh, J.J. Abrams, commercial filmmaker, you're a piece of shit. You know, it's more like, I don't think that
it's not what you want to do.
It's not they're not the movies that I want to make.
It's not
but
the style of film that you want to make.
No, but I do love watching them. So yeah, no degradation there. But the independent film scene is what I'm more interested in. However, I do just want to be in a place where there is so much commercial filmmaking so that I could get more practice. Just grind my teeth in that way.
Being on sets and
just
doing
being on
whatever.
a bunch of movie sets and just like seeing how, you know, from a distance, how professionals in this industry work in the commercial space, seeing what that looks like. Because my experience is fairly limited to you know, doing just nothing notable stuff, to doing short films at school, you know, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So that's one thing. A little bit of guilt for not staying in San Francisco, staying in my hometown, my community and stuff, and working for them, and with them. Number two, after I put my little baby head on my little baby pillow, after night 2, I think. I'll just say night 1 so it's a better story.
Okay.
Night 1, I put my head down. I had my blinds open. The light from the city was reflecting in. And I was thinking to myself, oh no, I'm not going to make it. Just completely arbitrarily, just like for a moment and it wasn't like a fear or anything. It was just like, oh no, I forgot. I'm not going to make it in the film industry. And so then I just like thought about that for a couple of days and I was like, all right, I guess I'll give it a shot for a year. I'll say I tried and then I'll move back to San Francisco. I'll get a teaching credential. I'll become a high school theater teacher, and that'll be a very fulfilling life, a life that I would very much enjoy. And then I started working because I transferred down here to, you know, for my old job, which was working at a movie theater. So then I started working at the movie theater down here, and we were hosting a local film festival, and a lot of the employees that work there also want to, you know, do film and television and stuff. And so just talking with them and like some of the film festival people about movies completely reinvigorated me again.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I'm not just like some hack. I have things to say and I believe in myself. And so I got myself right back up and then I was like, here we go. Now I'm all excited again.
Hell yeah.
And so, yeah, being in Los Angeles is fun because there's just a bunch of stuff going on, which is not what you could say about where we were before. Having so much stuff around is exciting. So many more people, so many different types of people, you know? So it's very exciting. It's exciting times right now.
I want to backpedal again a little bit to what you were saying about like feeling like, oh, I'm not going to make it, blah, blah, blah. Because that's a feeling that goes through my head multiple times a year, a month, whatever you want to say. Impostor syndrome is what, you know, the cool kids would maybe call it. What makes me always get out of that mold is, without trying to sound shady or anything, when I watch something that's like professionally made and I'm like, oh, this isn't very good.
Yeah.
like not like props to whoever made it for actually getting it made. But when I see something on TV or at a theater or, you know, broadcasted online that has, you know, financial standing behind it. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. I'm like, I know I could do that. There's a show that I've been watching recently that I don't think is very good, but I watch it because of how bad I think it is.
Right.
And I won't say what it is, but I think you know what it is.
I know.
Where I'm like, I absolutely could write on that show. Like, that is not very good. Because I've been thinking about it more and more over like the last, year and a half or so during the whole pandemic while we've been at home. And like what I want to do with my career. Because I used to really want to do stand-up. Mm-hmm. And less so in the last like year and a half. Because the process of getting to the point of like, in a way it's laziness, because the process of getting to the point where like you could actually make money doing stand-up is so like insane and intense. And it's not so much that I don't want to do that, it's that I think I would kill myself after a period of time. Yeah. Like, I really do not think that would be good for my mental health to go out there 5 nights a week, 8 nights a week, whatever you have to do, and like do poorly at open mics and have to sit at open mics. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think I would enjoy that. And I'm at the point in my life now where I'm like, I don't want to do things just to do them. Like, I used to want to work in comedy, like for the sake of working in comedy. I think I said to someone one time, like, I'd rather work in comedy than be happy. And that's the stupid ass thing to say.
Classic. Yeah.
That's like I'm at the point in my life where I just want to do things that make me happy and fulfilled. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if stand-up's that right now. I think like writing shows and stuff is. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm on a similar path as well, where like, you when you're younger and you want to go into the entertainment industry, you have like an idea of what you want your career to be, and like what you want your job to be in that, what your role will be in that. And, I always thought like sort of a tourist filmmaker, mm-hmm. Like career would be that's what everyone wants.
Right.
But now the more that because I've worked on a couple music videos for some friends, and like that didn't require any writing. It was just shooting it and directing it and editing it. And then, just working on school projects, and just in the last year or so, just thinking about some of the projects I've done and want to do in the future. The more I'm realizing, I always thought of myself as like a writer and director. Maybe I'm not actually a writer, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I can write. I'm
perfect combo here, because I want to write stuff. I don't necessarily want to direct it and deal with the technical aspect, because that's like, I don't have the brain for that. Like, my brain's not a very technical brain.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we got to team up.
Yeah, we got to get an apartment together.
Save that into the notes section.
We're moving to Los Angeles. We're going to make our dreams come true. And then we get here and it's like, oh my God, this city is soul crushing, and like, it's impossible. It's so big. Everything is insurmountable. This insurmountable mountain is in front of us, like how hard it's going to be. And then going back to like, no, we can do it.
Right.
And what's nice about that is like, if I, just speaking for myself, if I don't make it, it won't be for lack of effort.
Right.
Which is also why we moved to Los Angeles, is like, so that we could say that we gave it our shot, but it won't be for lack of effort, and it won't be because I'm untalented. Mm-hmm. It's because X, Y, and Z.
It just didn't work out. Whatever it is, it didn't.
Tough break here. I did a bad job on this one project here. Someone else got a job there. Just like any number of random things mm-hmm. could cause someone's career to go from Steven Spielberg to someone you've never heard of. So yeah, it's like staring at this insurmountable mountain, and you have to climb it, and like it's going to be very difficult, but like it's very comfortable to know that even if we don't, that we tried.
Which I think, like, on like a personal level, like one of my biggest fears has always been like letting my family down, because so many people in my family have sacrificed so much just for me to like live and like do what I'm doing. And I think I've realized now that if I just like give it a real try, like if I actually like put effort into it, give it 100%, that like they'll be proud then.
Yeah.
No matter, like, it doesn't matter if I, quote unquote fail at it, but like if I just give it like a real honest shot, like they'll be happy.
And I think also, like, just speaking for myself again, yeah, for the most part, I've been like a pretty lazy person for most of my life.
Me too.
So, also just like taking that step and moving down here was a big part of saying to myself, like, okay, time to time to not be so lazy. Time to give
that
it
is
an
why
effort.
I've been trying to write a sketch every day right now, even though like I don't love sketch comedy. Cause like I just honestly don't think most sketches are very good, and they're just not interesting to me. But like they're not easy to write in the sense of like it's not hard to write a good sketch, but like actually like writing a 5-page sketch isn't like some big task to accomplish. I wrote nothing in like the last year. So writing like 3 sketches since I've been down here is like already progress. And like 3 sketches where I'm like, these aren't perfect. But I think they're like pretty decent for just like an out of my brain write something. And there's that old adage that 5 million people have quoted where they're like, writers write. Like, so just like the act of doing that makes me feel like I'm taking a step forward and accomplishing something.
For sure. And going back to the imposter syndrome thing as well, because since I moved here, the only people I've met so far are people at work. And everyone's asking, oh, why did you transfer down here? Why'd you move to LA? And like, it's just cringy in my mind to say like, oh, I moved down here to be in the entertainment industry because everyone else did also.
They're like, no shit, Sherlock.
Exactly. But, so like they asked me that, and then I still say like I moved down here for film. I went to film school, and so that's the goal. And like I feel cringy about it. And then they're like, oh, like what kind of stuff do you want to do? And then once I get talking about the stuff that I'm passionate about and want to do, then I'm like, oh, there it is again. And I sort of said this earlier already, but like, that's right. I have ideas, and whether they are good or not is not for me to decide, but like they're ideas that I'd like to express, I'd like to give it a shot. And for right now, being here is the best, gives me the best opportunity to successfully achieve sending those ideas off into the world.
Yeah. It's funny you say like, you didn't want to say I moved here to work in the entertainment industry, because like I worked at a childcare center, and like when I was leaving, the kids are like, why are you leaving? I'm like, I'm moving to LA. And they're like, yeah, but why? And I'm like, oh, because I want to make, movies and TV shows and stuff. And they're like, why can't you do that here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because you know what? You can, but like, it's much more difficult to do that here than to do it down there.
So week 1, success, failure, in between.
I think it's a success. I think just like the physical act of finally getting here after... Y'all don't even know how long we've been trying to move down here.
You don't know how long this grind has been.
But it was a challenge to get down here. Not even like a financial challenge, but like the issue wasn't financing an apartment. The issue was like, as 2 young men with no rental history, and only one of us has a job. It's difficult, and because of COVID and stuff, you can't come down here and like see places in person and talk to leasing agents and whatnot. Like the act of actually getting an apartment was very difficult until our great landlord graciously accepted our application.
Shout out city.
But yeah, I think just actually like finally getting here and like getting the ball rolling, I would deem it a success. Week 1.
I agree. I think week 1 was a success. We've got some furniture. We've visited some stores.
Right?
You're writing sketches.
You're working.
I'm working, making money. Next up, I think, for the next couple of weeks to be a success, in my mind. Well, actually, let me throw it to you first. For the next couple of weeks, what makes it successful?
Well, first of all, I'd like to get a rug. Okay. If we can get a rug or just something. So y'all got to understand right now, our living area is a couch, a TV, and a TV stand, and then a bunch of cardboard boxes that need to be cut up. That half of them are cut up, and then half of them aren't. So on the apartment front, I feel like getting that area cleaned up and like more like an apartment, like a place that people live in, and not just like a couple of squatters are at, would be a success. On the personal front, I think if we can like get out of the house and like go do something fun, would make it a success. Just one fun thing. We don't have to be like, we're going out every night. Right. We're going to get crazy. But like, if we just like can go do one fun thing this week, that'd be a success.
That's where I was going to take it as well. Just doing one like social thing.
Right.
If we're going out to like find like a restaurant, or going to the New Beverly, which is something I wanted to do this month.
We'll do it this week.
Yeah, going to a bar, like going anywhere, just
Right.
doing something, trying to meet a person, because we're both very introverted people.
Yeah.
And very shy, you know, and just again, speaking for myself, I'm just fairly awkward. End of sentence.
End of sentence.
So for the next few weeks to be a success, I think going out, socializing, meeting some people,
Falling in love.
Exactly.
Let me tell you this. This might not make it in the podcast, but I haven't told you this story yet that happened on one of my walks the other day.
Oh, here we go.
I was walking and I saw this beautiful woman and she was walking a dog and she was like, I like your shirt. And I'm like, thanks. I got it at Ross. I like your dog. And she's like, thanks. I got it at Ross. And we talked and then I'm like, okay, bye.
That's rad.
Hell yeah.
And then look at you. You're already socializing.
Look at me. Didn't get a name or a number or anything.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
To give you an idea of the type of introverts that, I'll speak for myself, I am. Speak for yourself is on Fox Sports every weekday morning.
Lastly, before we go, any thoughts on the Succession season finale? What do you think is going to happen?
Oh man, I think Kendall's going to kill himself.
That would be quite a turn.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think that's what's going to happen. It'd be a bold choice from the writers, and I would respect a choice that bold. Look, I don't think any character should be infallible in a show. That wasn't the right word to use in this sentence. I couldn't find it, and I was already in the sentence, and I'm trying not to stutter as much as I do, so I just said a word.
You're well trained in improv. You just went for it. You committed. I appreciate it. Keep going.
I don't think that, yeah, I'm back to stuttering now because I flustered myself. It would be a very bold choice to kill off what some would say is the main character of the show. And a risky choice too. But you know what? You got to take risks in life and in TV shows.
Just like us.
Just like us. I took so many risks this week.
You went out.
I went out.
We got rewards memberships at
Hell
every
yeah.
store nearby.
I fell in love.
You fell in love.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited to watch it. We're going to watch the penultimate episode right after recording this podcast. Very excited.
Very exciting. Very exciting times for us. We'll be doing a Succession pod next week.
Hell yeah.
After the season finale. We're going to be talking about that. And if you guys are interested in hearing more about that, we could always do more Succession pods in the future as well.
Absolutely.
It's an exciting time here for the Nothing Notable podcast. The fact that we all live together now, or near each other now, provides the opportunity to get to do more filmic stuff.
Hell
also.
yeah.
Getting back to sketch, getting back to short films, getting back to silly documentaries about people who steal socks. So you know what? We're going to have a lot of fun this year. I'm very proud of us for what we did this year in 2021 because, you know, we didn't have the ability to do very much. So we decided to do a podcast, and it's cringy when you say, hey, I've got a podcast, because everyone does. And like, there's a level of like self-importance.
You don't want to be podcast guy.
Exactly, because it means
Look, I don't want to be podcast guy.
Look, I don't want to be Russillo or anything. But
That's what we need to do this week.
We need to find Russillo. We need to find everyone that works at the Ringer, and we need to track them down.
But just to kind of, I think, piggyback off your thought, I think, you know, there's a fair amount of people here, and by fair, I probably mean like 25 or something, who have just been here, just subscribed since we've had this podcast, this iteration of the podcast. Where I feel like this was like the third era of Nothing Notable. We had the first era that was just like sketches and stuff. Era 2 was the Gerald Lee Page documentary, and to an extent my election documentary, both real life documentaries following true events. I'm wearing the same shirt in both of them, I think. No, I'm not. I'm not wearing the same shirt. I digress. But then this podcast was like era number 3 of Nothing Notable, and I feel like, you know, come January 2022, we're going to be pushing on era number 4. I feel like some more stuff's going to be happening soon.
I think so too, and it's very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. And, you know, Nothing Notable has always been a document of our friendship.
Right.
You, me, Tyler, and Kenny Staff, who
Rest
has
in
been
peace.
absent for a while. But let me just say, when we get the Best of 2021 series going soon, He might make an appearance.
He might make an appearance
He
or
might
two.
make an appearance. So it's been a document of our friendship, and so to see it progress in various ways has been very fun. And so I think that this next stage is going to be the best version of it. And because of that, it'll also be the best version of all of our friendship.
Hell yes. Unless we start hating each other because we live together now.
Put the milk in the fridge.
You gotta wash the dishes.
Thank you very much for listening to this update ramble pod. More stuff is coming in the future. We're going to be doing the best of 2021 series. Last year we did the best of 2020 where we highlighted all of our favorite stuff from the year. We're going to do the exact same thing this year, except it's going to be for this year's stuff. Jack, anything left to say?
Man, I think you hit it all there on the head.
This is why we're the number one podcast, is because of incredible intros and outros by yours truly.
Dude, our outros are so good.